Hello and welcome to the Find Your Flow.tv show. My name is Winston, the Find Your Flow guy Wittes, and I'm here today with a very special episode. Now, I wanted to share with you how you can become a published author this weekend. Yes, and quick, who am I? Why should you believe me? So I published some books. Okay, these are a few of the books I published. I've got others, but this is part of the real estate book, right? My first book. I want to start with this. Something important. I want you to be a published author. If you have a message, if you have something that you feel you need to share, if you're trying to build your business, if you're trying to build your practice, if you just feel called to share something inside, then this is probably for you. Now, this is the first book that I wrote. My mom helped me. This was second grade, okay? Yet I still have it. My mom was the illustrator, which I don't think was really allowed, but my mom was a good artist. And I'm super excited. And so this was, but I wrote this second grade. Why do I care? Because it was, look at that. Wasn't that cool? An adventure book. The adventure of all books, right? And we learned to create covers, and it still exists many, many years later. Okay, so that I'm very proud of that. So I was super stoked to find that recently. Now, why is that a big deal? Because books are a big deal. Books, we live in a digital world. I've got a Kindle, an electronic e-reader, and maybe you do too. And yet, still, there's something about having a physical book in your hand that you can pass down to generations. This book that I was fortunate enough to help my mother-in-law publish is a story about my wife's family, her ancestors, the World War II, right? The Nazis. How music literally saved that lineage, right? Piano player right there was in the concentration camp, right? They were going to kill him. They killed his brothers. And they knew that he could play piano. And so they let him survive. And he survived and had kids, and those kids had kids, and I married one of them. That's in this book. That's legacy. That's something that we get passed down to our boys. And this is something that most people don't even know this happened, where this happened. A little cliffhanger for you. This was not in Germany. Okay, these folks fled Europe and ended up in another country where they also had concentration camps. But maybe you didn't know that. So I'm going to leave that if you want to check out a copy of this, Between Barbed Wire. Okay. So it's something that I got the chance to help do and put into a book form. And she gave this to her friends and our family. And again, something I can pass down to my kids, to our kids, for generations, right? This is our personal history. Now, why else might you want to be a published author? Well, this is one of my good friends, one of my buddies, Christine McDaniel. And she's a pretty awesome entrepreneur. So maybe you are an entrepreneur, a healer, light worker, chiropractor, anything, and you want to become an expert. You already are an expert, but maybe you're not an authority. How do you become an authority? How do you become a highly paid expert, sought out expert in your field? Well, you could write the book on the subject. Who's Christine McDaniel? Is she anyone special? What does she have to do with co-living? Oh, she wrote the book on it. What do you mean she wrote? She literally wrote the book, The Co-Living Code. That's her, right? Foreword by Richard Branson. It's kind of a big deal, right? Christine, boom, she's the expert. She put this together. This is her book. Look how freaking cool that is, right? And she explains everything for people that are new to the topic. And now she's, all over the world with that. She's huge. Okay? that's the power of a book. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, though. Is there a lot more to it? Yeah, that's actually part of what I wanted to share with you today. So here's a couple of other books that I wanted to share with you. This book is a real estate book. Why did I write a real estate book? Well, I'm a real estate professional for one, so that is one of my expert areas of expertise, right? Now, these happen to be two different niches that I work as a real estate professional, okay? For sale by owners, which is a niche, and working with investors as an agent investor myself, working with flippers and investors to help them save lots of money on autopilot has been something that I've specialized in for a number of years. And so I wrote a book about it. And once you know it, within, I don't know how many years, I don't remember when I published it, but along the way, this book has made me tons of money. How? Because of the authority, because of the expertise, because of the credibility it's given me. I've now had the opportunity to work with thousands, literally thousands of real estate investors across the United States of America. I've personally consulted. And part of that, at least, not the whole thing, certainly, but a little part of that has got to be because of this book. Okay, so the power of the book is there, and you probably already know that. Okay, now I'm going to get a little bit more specific for you. What's this mean for you? Because you've got your own book ideas, whatever that looks like. Here's a book I did kind of, well, that's cool. What? For a TEDx event that I was hosting. I had the good fortune to host TEDx the last few years, except for this year. It wasn't in real life due to pandemic. But this is, gosh darn, green screen's a little hard to read it. But check this out. Okay, these are experts, authors, experts, and they each contributed a chapter to this book, okay, as did folks in, I don't know if I have any of my other books right now, I don't, but basically in this series, right, this is a series, there's 5 different sub-series, so this is it was just trademarked, now it is a registered trademark. Find Your Flow is a registered trademark, okay, you're not allowed to use it, boom. Registered trademark. I only have the TM, but it is now registered. So that means nobody else can use it when writing a book series or producing educational content and or live events or other things, right? What's that mean for you? Well, if you want to be an expert or an authority, maybe already an expert, okay? I'm assuming you are or want to be, then you see the value in sharing your message, right? So something like this, okay? It's a nice little size, and as I said, there's 5 different sub-series. There's actually 6. Mind, body, spirit, social, cash. Okay, mind, body, spirit, social flow, cash flow. And so each one of those is its own sub-series in the main Find Your Flow book series. This one is social experience, social flow, number 2, basically. This one is the experts. So I kind of did an expert series and have started with that. What I'm looking for are more experts for each category that I can put in upcoming books. My goal is to publish one book a week. 52 books a year. That's my goal. I'm not there yet. And I realize I can't do it on my own. I don't want to do it on my own. That's not the point. The point actually, as I realized even more clearly, more recently, is to help you get into one of these books. And if you are so inclined, maybe help you put out your own. And I did not help Christine put her book out, just to be clear. She did this on her own and with her team. But it's just a book I happen to have lying around. I've got dozens of books you can't see right there, with all sorts of my amazing friends that do amazing, cool things. And a lot of them, wouldn't you know, are authors. Weird, huh? So becoming an author is a thing. It's an important thing. And for you, if you're still watching this far, chances are you see that is something of value. Now, there are 3 myths when it comes to becoming an author that hold people back. Okay, and I want to address those. So myth number 1 is this idea that you need a big publisher. A lot of people think they need to get a big publishing house to publish their book, and that's where they're going to make all their millions of dollars and get rich. The reality is it very, very rarely works that way. We see that in the news, like, oh, the author of Harry Potter, she became a billionaire. Well, she was rejected, I think it's dozens, if not hundreds of times as she was out there pushing her book. So what does that mean? That means she was out there pushing her book. She was going door to door or publisher to publisher, knocking doors, phone calls, hustling to get her manuscript in front of a big publisher. And eventually it did pay off. But for a lot of us, that doesn't always make sense, right? Maybe we're not trying to be fiction writers, or maybe we don't need to be that big, but we have a business, we have a calling, something that we want to get out there. And the other thing with the big publisher myth is that people think that that's how you get paid. Like, oh, you're going to get this big check and it's going to, you're set up for life and you just get to go on book tours and they manage the whole thing. That's not how it works. The only reason a big publisher would be interested in you in the first place is if you already have the list, if you already have the following, if you already have all that stuff figured out, and they can just say, hey, here's some money, we're going to do this one aspect of the publishing, but you're still responsible for the promotion, the publishing, the promotion and the sales, the marketing and all that. And if you don't sell all that, the money they gave you was just a front, right? That's basically a loan. If you don't hit your sales and make the money back, then you don't actually make any money on it. And a lot of people don't really understand that. Very similar thing with like artists and record labels and stuff. The model has shifted, and while that may make sense for a very small percentage of people, it's usually those people that are already established. And at that point, the relationship's a little bit different, right? Because you're coming in more as equals than a big publisher that's going to give you, pennies on the dollar because they're taking a chance that you may or may not sell enough books to cover that upfront check. Right? So you have to pay that check back. So keep this stuff in mind. So self-publishing is a real thing. Many successful business owners do it, but there is work involved, and you may or may not have the time or patience, right? So that's a thing. Okay. So myth number two, is that maybe you're sitting there and this sounds great, and you want to do it. You want to be an author. You want to share your story. You want to share your mission, but you're afraid. Who's going to listen to you? Maybe you don't feel like you're an expert enough, or you know enough, or what you have to share matters enough. So to that, I would say, if you feel inside that there's something you need to say, then there's a reason for that. Okay. And my purpose, what I feel inside, is to help you and people like you share that story, to get that story out there, right? Each of these folks shared a story. I was able to help them do that very quickly and easily, with not too much of their own time or energy. And all of a sudden, they've got more credibility. They have one more thing out there bringing traffic back in, one more way they can be found online in a book. Not too shabby, right? And you may think that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool, right? And you can share this. Now, the other neat thing with this is, notice there are 6 people in this book, and this one happened to be just friends and people that I was able to pull together for this particular book. This was the first one I did where it was a joint book like that. And these people are able to cross promote for one another. So there's synergy with the promotion. So that's kind of an angle that may or may not come into play with some of these books. If you have a friend or you have people, maybe there's a power group of you, a power network, 4 or 5, maybe even 2 or 3 of you that you have synergistic businesses, then those are groups I would like to be able to help put together so that you can do a book together and you can all share that book, and it can help cross promote and synergize between you. Okay, so that's a thing too. Now, belief number 3 is that writing a book is too hard, or it's too time consuming, or too expensive. And to that I say, maybe back in the day it used to be very, very expensive, very, very time consuming, very, very challenging. Now with technology, we have the ability to produce and publish books very quickly and very efficiently and very affordably. And so myself personally, I do have systems I've developed over the years to be able to do this in a streamlined fashion. And if you go to findyourflow.com/author club, then you can access the same tools that I use to publish my book series, and you can use them for yourself if you want to do it yourself. Okay. And I will have some trainings available there. Now, if you stay to the end, which is coming up soon, I do have some bonuses if you would like to potentially get help with this process, because there's, for some of us it makes sense to do it on our own. For some of us it makes sense to get help, and for some of us it makes sense to just have somebody else do the whole thing for us. Okay. Now, one of the other big things with this is the book is only step 1, really, right? You get the book. Okay, cool. Now what? You and 10 billion other books on the market. Okay. So becoming a number 1 best-selling author it's a tricky thing. We hear this is a special bonus myth, right? Number one best-selling author. What's that mean? Am I now millionaire? Do I own the earth? Kinda, not really, right? Because the book itself, it depends what the goal of our book is, and we can have different goals, different outcomes for the back end of the book. What happens? Are we just trying to make money off the sale of the book? Okay, cool. That not the greatest model, and I'm not going to go into the math and break down the things. It can happen, works, but generally, if you think about it, if you think of even like a Harry Potter type series, they made that into movies. They made it into stuffed animals and toys and a theme park and all these things on the back end that came as a result of licensing those characters and that story, right? So it wasn't just the book, it was all the back end. The book is just kind of the beginning of that, right? And so with your book, right, this book, maybe it cost me $5 to print, okay? If I was still hustling this part of my real estate business, what I used to do was I used to just go give copies of this book to for sale by owners. If I saw a sign, somebody trying to sell their house on their own, hey, stop by, hey, here's this, check it out, it can help you sell your house yourself. By the way, if you ever get tired of selling it on your own, reach out to me, I'll list it and sell it for you, right, as a licensed agent. So that was one of my niches, and that's one way. Now the book itself, yeah, I could have sold it, and maybe it still makes sense. It is for sale on Amazon. You can go buy it for $8 or $15, right? Totally worth it. You're saving tens of thousands of dollars on selling your home yourself. Paying $15 for a book is a no-brainer. And I do make some money from this, right, throughout the year. Okay, some people buy a book here or there, and I make a few bucks. Not too bad. But really, what's this book for? Credibility, right? Because when I go into the market and I give somebody a book with my name on it, and they can read it, and they can see, oh, wow, this guy really knows his stuff, and then they do get tired of trying to sell their house on their own, I've got a decent chance of getting that deal. Okay, so that's one way that your book can help you start to promote your business. So I want to start to wrap it up here, but I want to go over these bonuses a little bit, because as you'll notice as I'm building this out, again, one of the first big myth, the big myth number one, that you need a big publisher. A lot of people, again, don't realize that the big publisher isn't doing it all for you. They're doing the book, maybe actual editing and positioning and, shiny the cover and the art design and, editing and formatting, which is work. It's work. And it costs time, it costs money, it takes expertise and skill. So there's value there, obviously. But then what? Then you got the book. Now you got 1,000 books or 50,000 books sitting in your garage or in the warehouse or whatever. How are you going to move those books? If you don't have the list of people ready to buy the books from you now, you are suddenly in big trouble, because selling a bunch of books is not an easy task. And what you probably noticed a lot of, I'm in marketing, so it's maybe harder for me to see than maybe it is for you. But I see offers. I see them all the time. It's hard for me to not see them, I guess, is maybe a better way to put it. But get this book for free. It's called the free plus shipping offer, right? Hey, get my new book. It's super amazing and awesome, and it's normally $1,000, but I'm gonna give it to you for free. Just pay the shipping and handling, $5.99 shipping and handling. Go ahead and put your information in the box. I'll send out my free book to you right away. Right? You've seen that. You've seen something like that. How do they do that? Why do they do that? How are they making any money? Are they making any money? The answer is no. Not at the beginning. Not on the sale of the book. Why? Because this book cost me literally, and I get the cheap version because I can buy it direct. It's cost like $5, okay? And it's not a super thick book, right? This particular one. So it cost me $5, and I'm selling it for $5.95. For shipping and handling tax. So after tax, and then I actually have to pay shipping and handling, right? So I'm not actually making any money on the book. Why the heck would anybody do that? Well, because what is this book really? It's credibility. Look, flippers, investors. I'm telling real estate investors that if you want to save money, then this is a system for you. So I'm calling out exactly who my ideal clients are, telling them what they're going to get out of it. They're going to save tens of thousands of dollars and put their business on autopilot. Not too shabby, right? So I'm telling them the benefit, and when they read this, it's going to show them, it's going to tell them how to do it. So they're going to get the information, and some of them are going to do it, and they're going to save themselves thousands and thousands of dollars. Some of them are going to realize that it's not worth their time. And what are they going to do? They're going to say, well, this guy Winston lays out a pretty clear plan for helping me save tens of thousands of dollars with my real estate business. Let me give him a call. His number's right in the book. Or actually, I'm not ready to call him. Oh, guess what? That's okay. There's a website with more information. And that's in the book. It tells me which website to go to get even more information. So if I'm not ready to talk to someone, I can go to a squeeze page, a landing page, get more information, maybe even another free ebook, and then maybe set up a free consultation. This whole thing that I just described is what we call a marketing funnel or a sales funnel. And specifically in marketing, we call this a loss leader because the book didn't actually make money. Why the heck would I sell a book and lose money on it? Why would I give away a book for free? You got it, because the back end. I'm selling a service or a product on the back end after the initial sale that will increase the total dollar value of that customer. So it costs money to acquire customers, and whoever can afford to pay the most to acquire that customer is going to win. If I can afford to pay $100 to acquire a customer and you can only afford to pay $10 to acquire a customer, then I'm going to be able to buy more customers, right? Because maybe I'm selling $1,000 or $50,000 products on the back end, whereas you stopped after selling the book. Okay, so the book is important, it's critical, and yet it's just one piece of a bigger thing, right? And why did I tell you this? If I'm just trying to sell you publishing, because I'm not trying to just sell you publishing. Sorry about that. I want you to understand the bigger picture and how this a book, having your own book, can play into your bigger goals and what you're trying to do with your business and your mission. And maybe you don't have a business or mission or side hustle. You just want to share your story. You just want to pass it on. That's okay. I'm happy to help with that too. So the links below, I'm not entirely sure. I'm doing this video and then, I may mess up the links below, but I want to give you the idea. One link below is going to be done, below it are all the tools and resources, the do-it-yourself. If you want to do it yourself, great. Use the tools and resources. The links below are my affiliate and partner links. So these are folks that I have, most of them, not all of them. I do have some kind of program worked out, right, where I get paid if you use any of their services, okay? It doesn't cost you anything extra. That's the beauty here. And in some of these, you actually save 10% or something like that. So you save money, you get to support me, and it doesn't cost you anything extra, and you get to do this stuff yourself, okay? Pretty cool. It took me a lot of money and time to get to this stack of tools that I use, okay? Now, if you want some help or you want to be in my book series, in the book Find Your Flow book series for promoting yourself for your book, I would love to have you. The way I'm doing this now is going to be a little bit different. It's a little bit crazy. It's maybe totally stupid, to be honest. I don't know. It might not work at all. But something tells me in my heart that this is a good option. Now, here's the thing. Because, a lot of this stuff is like, okay, when's he going to try to sell me something? So I want to be as upfront and transparent as I can. What I'm trying to do here is help educate, right? People who want to be authors, publishers, that again, it's not just about the book. I could just sell you and get you into my book program and, make you a published author and then upsell you and upsell you and upsell you all these additional things. Problem being a marketer is I know all the tricks and I'm trying not to use the tricks, but the tricks are the tricks because they work and they're not tricks. It is what it is. So what I'm telling you is there are different price points, right? Depending on where you're at in your business and how I can best help you, okay? If you want the free stuff or the closest to free as I've been able to figure out, then use the tools and links below, right? I hear my kid yelling for me. This is one of the things of doing this stuff. I'm in my home studio, right? I've got the world at my fingertips. But, I'm at home. Kids yelling in the background. Because this is real, friends. This is real. This is it. This is life. Things are crazy happening out there right now. Why am I doing this? Why am I spending my time trying to promote becoming an author to you at this critical moment in human history? Really, right? Like, I could be doing a lot of things. But this is what I feel called to do. I feel called to put you in a book and to share your story. Here's why. No, I'm not going to go into that. Okay. Come back around. There's a lot there, friend, but the big picture here for now, if you got a story in you, I can help you get that out. Now, my time is very valuable to me. Obviously, your time's valuable to you. I would expect nothing else. I can't afford to help everybody. There's a lot of different ways for me to try to make this whole Find Your Flow movement happen. Movement? Yeah, it's a movement. What? It's a movement in consciousness. It's a shifting of humanity, the awareness and consciousness of who and what we are. That is the Find Your Flow movement. It is a structure, a system to actually help bring about conscious change. Okay. So, with that, some folks are going to be very important in this. I don't know who. I wouldn't care to dare guess because I've found that that's not the way this works generally. So, what I am doing, I'm big on helping people that help themselves. Okay. And there's a lot of people that talk a good game that don't put the time or effort or money, frankly, into it to make it actually happen. And I unfortunately don't have the time or interest or patience to work with folks like that. I've put plenty of skin in this game. And if you can't meet me a little bit, then that's probably not something that I can help you with. All right. The do-it-yourself stuff, have at it. That's what it's there for. You have to start somewhere, and if that's where you need to start, that's the best tools that I personally use to make that happen. If you are looking to take it to the next level and you do have some time and or money to put into it, then consider doing some of the done for you options. Check those out, and or the done with you and done for you options in the links below. Those are going to show you some of the promotional packages, because what's going to happen again is getting a book is great, but unless you have a way to leverage it, to systematize it, to get it out there, to then funnel that into your business, then there's probably not going to be a whole lot of value other than, again, it depends on what you're doing. If this is for legacy, you're trying to share your story with you and your family, that's obviously important enough in itself, and you should do that. I would highly encourage you to do that while there's still time, right? While you still got the time, let's do it. Let's get your book out. I can help you with that, okay? So I'm going to put price points on some of these pages, and or maybe a little mini webinar or something to kind of really go into the packages and how I'm trying to make this of the biggest and best value I can for people. So there's that piece. But let's say you're the business owner, right? You're a business owner. Okay, now you got your book. Now what? Well, now you need a website to show your book, right? You need to publish it into Amazon or Kindle. You need the paperback version. You need paid traffic to drive to your page, right? You need somebody to run ads for you. You need social media content to keep your page looking professional and alive. All these things take time, money, or both, right? Systems, people to implement that for you. You can probably only do so much in a day. So at some point, you're going to have to let go of some of this. And I'm also talking to myself, I'm a big do-it-yourselfer. But I've learned to build up and take people onto my team and team up with people who have the pieces that I don't. And that's what I'm trying to bring for you, is the pieces that you maybe don't have. So you can plug in and leverage this system, this platform. So as I start wrapping it up here today, friend, I said that there's a bonus. And so when you click on the link below, again, there may be one link, there may be two links, and we'll see. But that will give you more information about the packages and how I'm able to potentially help you, how we might be able to work together, how I can help you get your message out to the world in these critical times when we really need to hear your message more than probably any other time. And it's very doable. It's very affordable, no matter what your budget is. If you just want to put in the sweat equity, use the tools below. If you've got a low budget and you want some help and leverage. Now, here's the thing, to just quickly go through this. With the promotions of the book, you get your book. Okay, now what? Well, would it be helpful to have a podcast you could be on to promote your book? Yeah, probably, right? What about a internet TV show? Could be useful, right? That could build your credibility, right? Cool. So now all of a sudden, we're talking about being on a podcast. We're talking about being on a TV show, YouTube TV show. We're talking about being in a book. Who's on TV and in books and on podcasts? Experts, authorities, right? So that could be you very quickly. And so that's what this whole thing is. It's a promotional tool to help bring the right kind of people up into the spotlight to share their message, share their service, and get that out into the world. So that's it, friend. That's kind of the big vision. I want to help you do that. I've got some free stuff, free goodies that I'm including to really help you get moving quickly and to support you in your journey of becoming a published author if you're not already, or publishing an additional book if you already are. And I would be happy to help you in any number of ways that I can. So if you have questions, you can email me, winston@findyourflow.com. You could also use the little Facebook Messenger thing on the website, which may be at the bottom right hand corner. It looks like a little Messenger lightning bolt. But that's it, friends. Thank you so much for your time here. Really appreciate you and just looking this deeply into it. I hope that if you're still here, chances are you have a book that really needs to come out. So whether I help you or whether you find somebody else to help you, just get it done, right? Just do it, because we're not getting any younger, friend. Like, time is flying and crazy stuff's happening, and the world needs to hear your message probably. And you're still here, so you feel called for some reason, would be my guess. If you have questions, you're not sure, if there's something I can help you with, send me an email. I'll get back to you as quick as I can, and we'll go from there. All right, friends? So thank you so much. I want you to become a published author again. I don't know if I said it in this video or not, but my goal is to get to where I'm publishing one book a week. One book a week. Just like this in the series. Okay, boom. I want to get this out, and I want you to be in it. So if you want to be in it, then click the link below, and it will go into more information about the packages and the big picture and mission of this whole thing a little bit more. So thank you so much, friend, for making the time, for being here, for your presence here with this whole thing. Take care, and until next time, my friend, be flowing.